might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts! Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again! Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Today is Wednesday, February 21st, 2024. If you do not know who I am your host of the morning show, the Koffee and Kata show, Tech Coach Ralph, where, as always, we are engineered to win. That is our goal here, to empower you, to help you to level up and get the mindset, the skills, all of that is necessary to be successful in the tech industry. And that is why we had an amazing show last night on the Ask Tech Coach Ralph, the Tech Q&A show last night. Amazing questions, amazing input from the chat, especially from Mitch. Shout out to Mitch, as always, for always being so helpful and always for like his amazing support of the channel, right? So just wanted to throw that out there. Many people were showed up and gave so much support, and it was an amazing time. So if you have not seen the Tech Q&A show from last night, definitely go check it out. Questions about mindset, technical questions about QA, all that good stuff, right? So highly recommended that you go check it out and leave me a comment, let me know what you think. And in probably like with the backlog, maybe in a few months, the clips from that show will come out. But if you wanna see it now, definitely go check the show out from last night. Quick announcements before we get into our news. We have coming out at noon. It's already scheduled to premiere. Noon Eastern time. It is a introduction. It's our part 1 to GRC, right? Figuring out what GRC is, governance, risk management, and compliance, right? So I've seen a lot of people talk about it as a sector to get into cybersecurity. I wanted to find out a little bit more about it, and we go and we break it down. We start to break it down, but it's probably going to be for like the next month. We're going to be talking about it, getting all the aspects and getting a very, very good comprehensive understanding. And maybe like when we have our next cybersecurity night as well, we can ask Sock some questions around it as well. He is always so willing to help us out and to contribute. All right. So that is coming out. And then tomorrow night, we're going to be going live. As I mentioned last night, I have to update the screenshot and the description, but we're going to be pivoting tomorrow night to trying out the Netflix's newest testing framework called Safe Test. So we're going to try that out tomorrow night. So I'll get that thumbnail updated today to let you guys know. And then we'll pick up on what we've been working on for the past few weeks next week. All right. So that is the plan. That is the goal. All right. Let's get into our news for the day. Let's get our timer up. All right, let's put our 5 minutes on the clock, and then we are going to jump straight into Flutter, doing some test-driven development on I guess we're not doing test-driven development right now because we need to catch up on our test. And then once we have all these tests taken care of, then going forward, we will then write our test first, and then we will write our implementation code, our production code. All right, so let's go ahead. 5 minutes are on the clock, and we are going to, let me zoom in first before we shift screens. All right, let's go to our shared screen. And let's start our clock. We are off to the races. Okay, so the first story is Ford cuts prices on slumping Mach-E. So let's see. Ford's electric woes grew Tuesday as the Detroit auto giant announced it was cutting the price of all 2023 Mustang Mach-E models. The EV's sales fell 51% in January, thanks in part to the elimination of a $3,750 U.S. tax credit. Price cuts start at $3,100 for the battery-powered crossover SUV and maxed out at $8,100 for the extended range high-end premium model. Ford also announced several incentives for the F-150 Lightning electric truck weeks after limiting its production because of falling EV demand. Meanwhile, the United Auto Workers Union is threatening to strike at Ford's truck plant in Louisville next week if local contract issues aren't resolved. So prices are being cut. I'm the EV demand it's a weird market, right? It kind of reminds me of like Bitcoin and stuff like that because it was so hot at one point, but now it seems like it's falling. So we shall see how that goes. I wonder what's going on with the EV market. I mean, I know that BYD is making a big push, the Chinese auto EV company. So we'll see, right? But of course, we can never rule out that there is going to be the United Auto Workers to strike once they are unhappy. Okay, so cool. So what's probably going to happen with that part? They're going to get some lucrative deal, and then half the workforce is going to be laid off because that's apparently what they like to happen over there, right? So let's move on to our next story. So grocery inflation starts to cool. I don't like to do these sound effects this early, but inflation going down for the groceries. Now we're getting somewhere, right? So has the pendulum begun to swing back on food prices? Restaurants, groceries, and packaged food producers say cost pressures have slowed down considerably compared to the hottest days of inflation in 2022. What a perfect timing for this story to come out, right? Consumer price tolerance has hit its limit, and costs related to labor and packaging are also rising more slowly. Oh, so guess what? They're rising, right? They're rising. Keyword rising, just a little more slowly. All right, of course. Okay. The New York Times notes Pepsi, whose prices rose in double-digit percentages for 7 straight quarters until the end of last year, saw its sales drop, prompting its CEO to vow smaller increases going forward. One analyst told the Times he expects grocery inflation to fall to 0.5% this year. So it's still going to grow, but it's going to grow down to 0.5%. Is that what you're telling me here? So interesting. Like the mathematics on this is very interesting. All right. By comparison, food at home prices surged to 13.5% in 2022. I'm happy I got very accustomed to fasting, whether it was intermittent fasting or multiple day fasting for like leading up to 2022, because that as well is able to reduce. It's another form of grocery inflation, right? To reduce grocery inflation, I had it fall on my own because I was already used to fasting and not eating 10 times a day. So there goes that. All right, now let's jump into our next article. Amazon and Walgreens out in the Dow. So, Amazon.com is finally set to join the Dow Jones Industrial Average on Monday, replacing Walgreens Boots Alliance. And I'll tell you this about Walgreens, right? Like almost every Walgreens that is down here in South Florida, they've closed, right? There's like a few that are still open, but most of them like they end up closing. Sometimes CVS takes them over. Sometimes it becomes like a hair, like a beauty supply store. Who knows, right? The move is in part a result of Walmart's 3-for-1 stock split and reflects the evolving nature of the American economy. In terms of consumer retail exposure, said S&P Dow Jones Indices, which manages the benchmark. While the Dow is no longer the preeminent investor benchmark, inclusion in the index will lead to more exposure for Amazon for those who bet on the average, and its addition and deletions are a litmus for industry trends. Walgreens was added to the price-weighted 30 stock index in 2018, but its shares have lost more than 2/3 of their value since. Yes, I said 2/3 of their value since, as it struggles to make up for lost demand. Amazon shares have nearly doubled since the start of last year, with a market value above 1.7 trillion. Shout out to my Amazon stocks. The decision is made by a committee from the S&P Dow Jones Indices and the Wall Street Journal, which looks at company reputation, growth, and investor interest. Amazon will rank 17 in the index. United Health Group sits at the top. All right. So, there's one more story. Of course, we can't leave without having our coffee this morning. So, let's just jump to the last story of the morning. Union to challenge Starbucks board. Of course. Shout out to the unions out there. I specifically chose that. one. All right. Organized laser groups will reassert their stance that Starbucks is anti-union, which threatens its reputation and shareholder return, in a planned filing with the Securities and Exchange Commission on Tuesday, based on a proxy presentation seen by CNBC. The union coalition says the coffee giant's aggressive pushback on unionization efforts is making things worse. Starbucks responded by saying that more than 20% of profits have gone towards pay increases, training, and new equipment in the last fiscal year. The union wants to replace 3 board members with their own nominees. Shout out to that. The looming proxy battle is perlocating as 21 locations said they intend to join Starbucks Workers United on Tuesday, the largest single day organizing boost to date. All right. So, I would never invest in Starbucks based on the way that I don't know, it's hard to invest when you hear like these type of stories of anyways, whatever. Let's just get to the what we're really here for. Let's get to Flutter, right? Because these news stories, they sometimes they get a little bit annoying because of mindset. To me, it's all about mindset. All right. So what time is it now? All right, we are going to throw up 25 minutes on the clock, and we are going to get to work in our. We're gonna get to work in our Flutter stuff. All right. So let's get to some code. I love to code. So let's do. Where's my 25? There's my 25 minutes. Okay, there we go. 25 minutes right here. And let's get to work. What we are all here for, okay? So, and by the way, if you have not done so yet, go ahead and like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can know every time that we go live. And if you need one-on-one personal help from me, go ahead and check out www.techcoachralph.dev, where you can sign up for exclusive content as well and exclusive live streams, as well as one-on-one coaching with me. All right. So here we are looking at our test, right? Let me see if I can zoom in a bit. Am I zooming out? I'm zooming out. Oh, no, I'm not. All right. Oops. Never remember the command to zoom in and zoom out. Never remember. Let's see. View, increase font, shift. Control shift. Okay, there we go. All right. So we are here. So I was trying to do the tap thing, but I don't think that's necessarily going to work for the keys. It's more for like elements on the page. So we'll probably we'll revisit that. I have a to do here to revisit that, but I do want to continue getting some of these tests done, right? So let's go to, so this one is not as important, so we can wait for that one. Let's move this one above it. And all right, to do test hourly, minute, seconds formula are being displayed correctly. All right. So we are going to enter in a value, and then we're going to make sure that the formatting of the, so we have to make sure we get the right results and the formatting is correct. All right. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna do a little tricky trick here, right? So I'm going to open. Watch how we're gonna do this, right? Because we already have our results from our formula test, right? And what I'm going to do, move this over here. And let's close that. Oops. All right. And I want this over here. And you see how, like, how many different ways you can set up your like, where you can put multiple things. So like, if you had, like, let's say you had a 49-inch widescreen, which that is one of my goals to get the 49-inch widescreen. And let's say I had my IDE extended across the whole thing, and I could, like, say, all right, I want this code here, I want this code here, and then you can look at multiple code at the same time. So like I remember when I was at the store the other day, I was looking at one of these very ultra widescreen monitors, and it was cool, like how you can have like so many different windows on one screen, and then you could target certain parts of it. So that is on my, see, some people on their bucket list, they have to go to, they have a dream to go to, like, wherever, right? Who knows, like Dubai or something. On my bucket list is to get a 49-inch widescreen monitor. That's just me. Maybe I'm weird like that. All right. So, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use the test data, like that we're using in our time cost, like in our formula test, and we're going to make sure that inside of our widget test that it's giving the same, like when we pass in the same value, it's giving us the same results. But at the same time, it's formatting it in the right way. All right. So, and what we're gonna do, I'm wondering if I should do a. I think we'll do it in the same test, right? Because we can have the same. We can have, like, because this is pretty much all around the same thing. So let's see what happens, right? We can always refactor it, make them separate tests later. So let's get started, right? So test widget, and we're gonna say validating the formatting of the hourly, minute, second formulas. And we're gonna say, so you can see this a little bit better. Okay, so let's go here, and we're gonna say here, tester, async, and do I have something wrong here? Oh, wait a second. I'm not inside. My bad. Gotta be in here. Okay, there we go. And let's close that. It's like we need a semicolon to close. All right, so let's get to it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to be passing. Let's use, what is this first test? Validate the formula for calculating hourly is correct. All right. So we do have it separately here, but so okay, we can do it separately. It's not a big deal. So let's do bar. It's going to be more. All right. So let's say, let's copy. So we need this, and we'll see if we can refactor some of this. So like the things that are repetitive, we can get it to be a little bit cleaner, but we still need this. We need that. And we're gonna use 100,000 here. And let's go up here and let's see what else we got. So we are going to take, we have that. All right, so now we're going to enter the text into this field. We also, we can only, we don't have to, we can just do this. We don't need to enter the field with the decimals because this was a separate test. So, okay, we're just going to be passing in the user income input of right here, $100,000. And then we continue to year. All right, so now we are going to be saying, we're going to be saying entered, so the field entered user yearly income. You know what? I'm gonna rename it a little bit to something that I can easily, like, I'm gonna probably start renaming these fields to something I can easily read. So what I'm gonna name this is to yearly income field as entered by user, right? Because I need to know exactly, like, because when I put it as entered user yearly, I have to think about it, right? But if I read it like variable yearly income field as entered by the user, um, that's just a lot easier for me to understand, right? And now I say input total annual income field, and we're gonna say evaluate that as a single widget, as a text form field. Is that what I'm looking for? Actually, I don't even know if that's what I need, right? Let me see. That might not be what I need. Thinking. Because that's all right. Let's get to the nitty gritty, right? So what we need to, so what we're actually trying to evaluate is what we're trying to, so let's say, hourly format. So, all right, so let's do this. Let's say our expectation. And that way, once we have our expectation, then we can say what we're passing into, like, get that validation. So, so honestly, if I enter it, then I should be able to get my expectation. So we're gonna have to, gotcha. Okay. So we're gonna have to say, so instead of this being the string for the value stored from user input, so this is actually going to be the, let's say we do, so let's do expect, and we're gonna say, hourly users hourly cost. Yeah, so that's gonna be users hourly cost, right? And it should be equal to, it should be equal to $11.42. So let's say 11. Right. So if you enter 10,000, we should get 1142. Oops. Oh, sorry. Right. So we don't have the variable for users hourly cost yet, so we have to create that. And we might have to, yeah. So let's go. So now, okay. So now we have a better understanding of what it is that we're actually going to be validating. So let's do this. Get some coffee first. So we're gonna say string and say users hourly cost. Actually, I'm gonna rename it actually. Just say an hour of users time is See, like because I've seen like a lot of variable names and method names where it can be like super confusing, like to break down what it's like when people are using X and Y and stuff like that. It can be super confusing to like read it. So I'm just trying to make it super easier to read, right? So if you see this is a string and it's an hour of user's time is worth calculation, you're like, okay, this is the field that it is, right? So I'm always trying to think how can I name this stuff better. It might look a little long, but I'd rather have a long variable or function or method name where I can easily understand as opposed to having to do like spend hours of research trying to see, okay, what exactly is this variable doing over here? What exactly is this integer doing? So let's say, all right, so now we're gonna go based on here. We're gonna have to go and find it. We might have to target it. So let's say, um, so we need to also find the, so let's set a variable here for, or maybe we should do it lower. Let's say, oh wait, no, we can just do it over here, right? So we're gonna say, find by key, and then const. And right now we're doing a little bit of test-driven development, right? Because we're gonna say this is gonna be um, hourly value calc results, right? And we're going to say, so wait, we can't do it. We can't do it directly in here. We have to do it as a var first, because then after we take that, then we're going to evaluate it as a single widget. So this is going to be var hourly calculation based on input equals. All right, so there we go. We have that. Now we're going to take this one and we're going to say that, which it's kind of unfortunate that I just wonder if we could do it like this, right? That would be really nice if I can just say evaluate. I could do that. Let's actually no. I'm gonna leave it like that because I want to be able to reuse this, right? And then we're gonna even turn this into I'm just now that I'm thinking about it some more, we can turn this into like a page factory of these different keys, right? So let's say evaluate. So let's comment this out for now. Let's do our test-driven development part, a little bit of test-driven development. So evaluate, and then dot single dot widget as text, right? So now if we run this, this should fail because it shouldn't be able to find this because we haven't added it yet. So let's try giving it a run. It should fail. It will fail because we don't have the all right, so it says no element is found, which is what we expected because we haven't set a key yet for it, right? So what we're going to do is we are going to make it turn into an element, all right? So we're going to go to main over here. Let's close this down. Let's copy this. And we're going to set a key on. So we're in the main Dart. We're going to go and find the hourly value where that's displayed. So an hour of your time. And that's on rich text. So let's say, where do we have a key? So we have a key here. So let's say so this has to be and add a const modifier. All right, cool. So we have our key here. And now if we run it again, and I think it should be evaluated as rich text actually. Yep. All right, cool. Because this is what we have here, rich text. So let's evaluate as rich text. And let's run it again. Now, if that passes, then we can go to our next line and go to our next line, and then we can. All right, so we're passing now because it can find it. So now let's go to our next line. And we're saying, so we don't need this evaluate here. We're going to say dot. How do we do it up here? We said dot controller dot. All right, so dot controller. Actually, it's not controller. It's dot. Where is it? Dot text dot. Dot text. Is it as simple as that? I don't think so. Let's see here. So we just got to find it. Up here was value.data. So where is data? Let me close this down, make a little bit more space. We need the second text. So we need the children. We need this one right here. So how do we target? So we're actually we might be a little bit too high, actually. Let me see. Is there a key for this text span over here? Because we might need to. There's not a key in here. So we're gonna have to target in here then. And children, so text and the children. All right, so let's see how we're gonna target this then. Rich text. All right, so let's do this. Do text, and then dot. How are we targeting this? I'm trying to get to here. So we have text. So this is the text for text. And this is gonna say a value type of inline span can't be assigned. Okay, that's understandable. And we want to get to style to plain text string. Trying to get here. All right, let's say if I do, say instead of text, we do children. Single. let's see how we can figure this out here. So right now we're here, right? So let's try this, right? I'm gonna try something real quick. This is how we learn, right? That's not what I wanted. Let's say we do print hourly. Just curious what this is gonna print out for me. That's how I do a lot of that's how I figure out a lot of things out. I just print out what I'm working on to see what value it gives me, and then I adjust from there. So rich text, this soft wrap, an hour of your time is worth. Well, I guess we could validate the whole thing, couldn't we? We could validate the whole thing. Although this should actually have a value in there. Hmm. So it's calculating here, but we need to get it to do this calculation over here. Which we could validate this whole thing, right? I wouldn't be opposed to that. I mean, we could target specifically in there, but all right. So we could do. So it's just text, right? So let's say text. So let's say we move this instead to here. Run it again. Let's see what we get at that point. Ah, it's not what I wanted. I think it was the same results. That's what I want. Run it one more time. So here we have the text span. Okay, so let's keep going a little bit further then, because we have this text span is what's printing out, is what we see here. So if we say now we go to dot. Let's see. So let's say instead of text, what else? Let's say children. And let's say it's the let's just print this out, right? And this is part of like us writing our widget unit test, as well as figuring out how Flutter works a little bit better. So this is a empty. Okay. So inside of rich text, we have this span, and we need a children text span. All right. So if we go here, there shouldn't be a key in here though. Let me see. There's no key in there. All right. So I wonder why it's offering key. So we go here and we say text. And is no, the style is on. So the style and the children are on the same level. So why isn't it showing me children here? if I say true, and what happens after that? Let's see what happens with that. A little bit of exploring here. This is true. The other thing, like even without this, right? Let's say we were to do, let's say we back up a little bit where we do, so we were to go like this, right? The other thing I'm wondering about is why is I think I have to go up one level. I'm wondering why is the calculation not happening here as well? It might need to be. I think I read this somewhere. Do a quick research real quick. It would be Flutter update, not target version. What am I looking for? It'd be Flutter widget test state change. Uh, okay, let's try this. Right. If we want to see the final result, let's see if we do a final. Actually, let's say we do tester.state, and we do let's say we go here. Would that accept it? So what I'm trying to do right now is get the updated state of this field. Let's just throw a print around it, see what we get. See what we get. Oh my goodness. See what we get here. Let's comment this out. Comment that out. And let's see if we get the updated value. It is not a stateful widget. Okay. So the stateful widget would be oh, you have to get it by the whole entire widget, which is annoying, but okay. Would it be after the change is made? So that's going to be something to look into, right? Because this is the stateful widget right here. So the time cost calculator would be our stateful widget. And let's say we were to put that in here. Find by type. Something to investigate, right? Because the thing is, right, we still want, like, it's finding the right thing, but we want to get the state change. We want to get the state change of, so like when we run it, it's getting the content, but it's not getting the updated state of it. So we want to also make sure that we get the state change as well. So it's not, because you see how this is right here, 1142. This should also be, this should also show $11.42. But we can continue to figure it out. Probably by next time, by our Friday, we'll have that figured out, and I can report on that. You know. So let me see. Let's look real quickly. All right. No. Well. Let's see if we can do it really, really quickly. Let's see. All right. So final state. Nope, that's not it. So let's say hourly. You need to specify the type while using state. Oh. So we go here, and we say state equals tester.state. All right, we're gonna wrap it up. Time is running right now, and I'm gonna do some more research on it. By Friday morning, we should have a better understanding on how we're going to be testing that this state change. So we have two things we need to do, right? So let's do this right here. Comment that out. Put a to do on it. Make sure we are getting the state change of the hour, seconds, and hour, minute, and seconds. That's our first to do. And then our second to do find out how to target the text inside of rich text / inline or text spans, right? So I'll be working on this for the next couple of days, and then hopefully by Friday morning we'll have a solution to this. I think we're close. I'm reading the documentation on how to do it, but I'll figure it out, and we'll get it done, right? So we have time. We are learning. We're writing our tests for our widgets in Flutter, so that we can have a comprehensive test suite. And that way, once we continue to make changes to our calculator, we do not experience any negative effects. All right. So I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really, really appreciate you. If you have not done so, go ahead and like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can know every time that we go live. And remember, at noon today, noon Eastern time, we're going to be premiering our introduction to GRC, governance, risk management, and compliance. So if anyone is interested in cybersecurity or learning more about that topic, I would definitely recommend you tune in and let me know what you think. Leave me a comment and interact in the chat. All right. So going to wrap it up. Thank you again for tuning in. Have a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. We are right in the middle of the week. We are getting closer and closer to the end of the week. All right. So you guys have a wonderful day. I will talk to you tomorrow night live when we're going to be working on the implementing the Netflix safe test framework. All right. You guys take care.
You might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts! Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again! Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.